Everybody hates Marvel Rivals. No, I'm not talking about the gamers themselves. I'm talking about the gaming industry. As you see, more and more developers come out and expressing their utter dislike with this game, and more than anything, their frustration with losing a part of their fan base to this game. And I think that is the main thing that is ruffling the feathers in the gaming industry, because we're seeing a perceivable drop in game playership for a lot of titles out there. And this happens from time to time with new titles that do come out, but not for such a prolonged time. And that's what we're seeing with Marvel Rivals taking up the space in the shooter genre with games that are not even in the same sphere of influence. Of course, I'm talking about Call of Duty Black Ops, which is having a little bit of trouble right now with game players transitioning to playing Marvel Rivals. How long this will last is not completely understood, but this is a significant churn with a lot of shooter games that are happening right now, where people are going to Marvel Rivals because it's just a better experience for a lot of gamers out there. And this is leading to a whole host of attacks coming from even some of the game players of some of the failed titles that came out this year. Some game players coming out in frustration. I'm talking about Concord. Concord has its players in its own forum discussing the utter failure of Concord and why did the game players let Marvel Rivals succeed where Concord completely failed. And if you know my other content, you know this is completely obvious just from this picture alone. Look at the character designs for Concord, it becomes obvious. And you compare it to some of the new designs that we're getting, like the Fantastic Four with Invisible Woman. People are praising this design, even making TikToks and other material based on a few images that we see of this character. And the design quality is the key thing that is bringing in a whole host of new gamers to this title. And I think that's the thing that's absorbing the gamers in Marvel Rivals, besides it being a Marvel game. Because if you ever read a comic book or you were a fan of Marvel TV shows and animes when you were younger, this thing hits all the right notes if you are a big fan of Marvel comic books. And I think that is the thing that a lot of players are enjoying, where you really feel like you're these Marvel characters, and it seems like it's being made by a passionate fan base of Marvel enthusiasts. And I think that is the clearest thing for me as I play this game, as I see these new characters, the Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic. This looks like the Reed Richards I imagined and played as a little kid, with the Stretch Armstrong type of toys that we had of Reed Richards. And even people that don't identify with that, we're going to identify with Straw Hat Luffy from One Piece. And Mr. Fantastic's attacks look exactly like Luffy from One Piece. And I think even more than anything, this game just feels like it was made by rabid fans of video games in general. And I think that's the biggest thing that I take away from the new player characters, the new characters that are coming out right now, where it just feels like these characters are made so unique and interesting that it makes you want to continue to play this game. Even after, for a while, I've been having like lag crashes while I try to play this game, I still want to get on here and play it and fix the problems. And I think that is the example of why gamers are so attached to this game, and it kind of represents why developers are so frustrated with this game. This game was made by people that are truly passionate about the universe that they're involved with. And I think that's the thing that's lacking with a lot of titles that are coming out, specifically Call of Duty. Call of Duty has become a corporate entity that's to release a game a year, and I think gamers are kind of tired of that, because the quality of Call of Duty goes down because of that, because it's not being made by people that truly are in love with the genre or the gaming space. It's just built on the foundation of people that did love these type of games, that made it so that Call of Duty could be something that is a yearly product. And I think that is the thing that is being lost in the Western games development industry, where there's no passionate game devs anymore trying to make something that is truly engaging to the fan base. And I think this is a similar thing that we're seeing with Overwatch, as they complain about massive drop in playership. And I think Overwatch has its own problems. Call of Duty still putting out some good products. Overwatch, on the other hand, put out a terrible product with Overwatch 2, which upset the fan base, and they're quick to leave. It may never come back. I think this is a quality issue that we've been seeing all throughout the Western gaming industry, where it's been corporatized, the industry. And I think with NetEase Games, a Chinese developer that is making Marvel Rivals, it is a corporate entity as well. But surprisingly, it feels like it's being made by people that just love video games and love Marvel products. And I think that's essentially the thing that is selling this game. How long it will be like this, who knows? This is still a gigantic company, but for me, this is the game that I would always dream of as a Marvel fan. And here it is, the game with all the characters with their specific roles and power-ups and abilities, and it's done in a way where it's competitive and exciting and strategic in a lot of ways. I think that's the thing that is selling this game so much so where we're riveted with it, where we're waiting in anticipation of the new characters that will drop. And I think that's the thing that we're seeing with the Fantastic Four release, where players are coming back to this game. And I think that is a thing that is annoying a lot of developers out there that are looking at these Steam numbers, where Marvel is the most played game of the year now. With, of course, it's a short year, but still, it's the game that people are playing the most right now. The game people are super engaged in. And it's upsetting a lot of people like Blizzard developers who are coming out and saying it's just a clone, this is not a good game, it's copying Overwatch characters like Widowmaker. Of course, if you're a Marvel fan, this is absurd and patently stupid. You already have the community correcting him, saying Black Widow has existed before Overwatch and Blizzard has ever existed. This is a character that's 70 years old. So it just shows the frustration that is growing in the industry with a lot of people not liking the trend of this game. I think I'd find it even more amusing the people that love Concord are coming out to bat and attacking this game, saying, why do people like this game? This game is similar to Concord. It has the same type of PvP shooter type of vibe with special skills and attributes. Why is this game getting the success that Concord rightly deserves, at least in their mind? And of course, when you talk about Concord, you just have to go down to character design. And that was the biggest problem with Concord. It had terrible character design. It was made for an audience of people that just don't play video games. It was trying to focus on these diversity elements that are just not the thing that players are going to play video games for. And I think more than anything, when you played Concord, it just didn't feel like a game that was trying to explore anything new or different. It was a game that was trying to be a true copy and clone of Overwatch. And unfortunately for the gamer base, we just don't like that. That's not enough anymore. And I think that is the thing that Marvel Rivals is bringing. It's not a complete clone of Overwatch, at least to me. And I feel like more than anything, everything is copying Marvel because Marvel established these characters in the forefront. And I think that is the thing that's a selling point for Marvel Rivals. It's a good Marvel game. And I think more than anything, that's the thing people want from a product. They want something that's a good game, and then you have all these iconic characters attached to it. You're going to sell a lot of copies if you do that. And I think that is the thing that we're not going to see with Concord. It's a unique title, but more than anything, it didn't make any engaging and appealing characters to the modern fan base. And the modern gaming fan base is 85% male. And when you're making Chinese grandmas as the key characters in a video game, you're not selling to that audience. And I think when you see gigantic kitchen aunties that are supposed to be the tanks of games, it's just not the playable character that gamers are looking for. And I think that is the failure of Concord. And I think when you compare it to what we see with some of the character designs for Marvel Rivals, it becomes obvious. Marvel Rivals is following the tried and true marketing strategy of making characters look appealing and attractive to the base that they're trying to sell a product to. And of course, when you look at the character designs, you get that. And I think that is the thing people are looking forward to when they play a new game. They're looking for something that has a high quality standard. And I think that quality lends itself to good character design. And I think I love the character design the most. And it's in great comparison to what we saw with Concord, where it had poor character design. But the hatred for this game is stemming from that success that we're seeing right now. There's over 10 to 15 million people streaming this game, playing this game worldwide. It's a game that is free to play, but more than anything, it's getting the attention of the gamer and player base. And I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So when we're seeing Activision, when we're seeing the Black Ops developers looking at this negativity that's occurring with their game because of Marvel Rivals, I think that frustration stems from the great success of that game. And then we're seeing Overwatch drop in viewership and overall player count. It just lends itself to that game players are fed up with low quality, passionless games that are just not out to actually please the player base. They're not going to sit and buy a yearly copy of Call of Duty if it doesn't improve itself. And I think when we're seeing Marvel Rivals continually improve itself, especially with new characters, which is the biggest advantage, it has characters that you actually want to play as already that have a historical background that 50 to 60, 70 years. So that is the biggest advantage I see. And I think a lot of developers are frustrated with it because Marvel has too many characters that could come out for the next 5 to 10 years and will still be hyped over a new character, a new X-Men character, a new Avenger character. We'll be excited for it. I think Marvel and Disney are excited for this as well because this is going to bring hype to a much maligned entertainment product that they have at the movies and TV show standard. But that's just my 2 cents on the situation. Everybody hates Marvel Rivals right now because it is the big boy on the block. How long will that last? I think it will last a long time because this game is just absurdly fun and engaging. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you think Marvel Rivals is going to collapse on itself because it is coming from a Chinese company. They're known for their monetization practices, but I think more than anything, they're known to actually keeping their audience there to continue to play the games that they have coming out. And I think they do that by making a good product, and that is something that is missing out from Western game developers. But that's just my 2 cents. You leave a comment, tell me what you think about the situation. These developers are hating on Marvel Rivals. I think it's justly so because they can't compete with it because they're stuck in their own ideological trap where they have to make ugly characters, where they have to try to put in social representation above gameplay quality and actual fun. And I think that is what we're seeing with this game. But you tell me. Like, comment, share, subscribe. This is Wagner Knows Why. Catch you next time.